What's up, Terry? Hey, Terry, if you wouldn't mind, let Tyler know that I'm going to be heat treating his knife live here shortly. It may be an hour or so before it actually goes in the oil, but I was going to call him and let him know, and I just kind of forgot. We're going to do some oil quenching tonight. Got several I need to get done. Ugh. Got a bunch of my own Pro Cut. I got his 1095, so. Luckily, the protocol is about the same, so it really doesn't matter. But yeah, that's the plan. Probably shouldn't have turned the camera on until I was actually ready. I apologize, guys, but I know there ain't nothing going on Saturday nights anyway. So I've been thinking real seriously about moving my live stream to Saturday nights. Sundays are just really inconvenient for me, but it never fails. Something with the family comes up. It's always something. And sometimes, man, it's just hard to turn that camera on to begin with. So if you have, other issues that are making it even more difficult, well, it's just easier to decide not to do it that night. And I don't like for you guys to be sitting around expecting it and it not happen, so. That's what that's all about. I'm trying to find just a blank piece of steel to throw in that oven so I can put it in my parts, put it in my quench oil to warm the quench oil up. You want the quench oil about 120 degrees before you use it. Believe it or not, a warmer oil actually drops the temperature of the blades even faster. Something to do with science, man. I don't know. I'm not going to act like I know all that. I just know that it's been it's a very common known thing. So we'll go with that. Give me just a second, guys. I'm rounding some stuff up. Like I said, I probably should have had all this done before I ever turned the camera on, but there's Tyler's Vigilante in 1095. We're going to heat treat that tonight. Dude, for the first knife he ever cut out and stuff, hats off to Mad Yoko, man. He did a good job on this. But I've got several in Pro Cut I've got to do as well. One in particular I'm about to lose an order on if I don't get it done, so it's another reason why I'm here tonight. I'm hoping to be able to be here for a little while. Nothing's stopping me but me. So I'm hoping I can get a few hours in tonight, because I really need to get caught up, man. I wasn't prepared for how much that having that stent put in set me back. I feel awesome. I know for a fact I'm way healthier than I was before it. But that and the fact that I lost 24 pounds in 3 weeks, I just kept getting lightheaded every time I was on my feet. Just wasn't able to do much. But I feel like I'm getting a little better now. I guess I'm a little more acclimated to my blood sugar actually being at a safe level instead of being, man, I didn't eat that much sugar, guys, and I was walking around at stroke level, like all the time. Let me see if I can find an old file I can throw in there. I just need something to heat up, to heat that oil up. Oh, here we go. That's perfect. Found this chunk of steel here. It's a good size. I'm gonna put this in the oven. I'll take y'all with me. I'm just gonna stick this in there so that here's my quench vat. Yeah, it's just a 50 cal can. Not that there's any 50 cal stuff around here. We didn't talk about that. But I'm just going to simply put this piece of steel that I have no intentions of using. I'm going to put this in the oven as the oven's ramping up in temperature. Well, if I don't drop it. But I'm going to put this in there to let it heat up. So when the oven reaches temperature, I can pull this out, put it in my parts 50, and let it bring that temperature up. So yeah, Aiden, hopefully I get to, well, I say hopefully, shouldn't be any reason why not, but I'm planning on getting your Pro Cut Tonto Heathen. Have you seen it? I'm really happy with it so far. I just hope I don't fuck it up doing the grind. Well, let me get one of each so I can show you. So this is a standard Heathen. This is my combat knife, outdoors, hard use, whatever you want to call it. And this is the Tanto version that I'm doing for Aiden. I'll be honest, man. I think I think Tanto's the way to go on this. You know, if these are 3/16, are they 3/16? They may just be 1/8. I'm not sure, but these are in Pro Cut. So this is Aiden's Tonto, and this would be the very first Tonto I've ever made. I wouldn't be making it, in all honesty, if it wasn't for the fact that Aiden kind of pushed me. He's already paid for it. Paid for it months ago. He was like, just whenever you're ready, man, I want the first Tonto. So, and he's got a very special, I'm not going to give it away, but he's got a very special maker's mark that he wants to put on it. So I'm excited about that too. But I needed to be here tonight because Meathead's out of pocket and was worried that a bunch of teenagers were going to show up to have my little beer bash bonfire over here. He wanted somebody here to make sure that didn't happen. Not that we're against that. It's just, you know, as teenagers, man, you don't understand the liability of things, you know, and how serious the repercussions of somebody acting stupid on your property can be. Not only do you not understand those things, you can't explain it to them either. They're never going to get it. As you can say, well, my buddy Timmy, he would never sue if something happened to him over there. You're probably right. But Timmy's mom might. There's that beautiful. I love the fact that they use the Tiffany blue on the ends of the Pro Cut to identify it. I love that color, man. I know it's not very manly, but I don't need particular colors or anything like that to prove my manhood. I feel like I'm a pretty manly dude, as it is. Maybe not. I got to draw one out. This particular one I'm talking about that I really need to get done tonight. I haven't touched it yet. Like, literally haven't even drawn it out, haven't cut it out, haven't done anything. So, got to get that done tonight. I know that's not the most exciting thing to watch, though. But not everything about knife making is exciting. Not everything about it's fun. But everything about it is fucking dangerous. I'll give it that. I never expected to hurt myself near as much as I do. See how long it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 inches. That's perfect. And of course, I dropped my pen because I have no feeling in my damn fingers. And of course, it rolled all the way up underneath the table. Because why wouldn't it? So, I know y'all can't really see what I'm doing, and I apologize, but I won't be here long. I'm just drawing out a design. Hey, Jessica. I guess Jessica's at home or somewhere. That's Meathead's daughter. So we have to act right. Jessica's in here. For those of you who are regulars, y'all know damn well her name's not Jessica, but that's all right. That's what she calls me. That's what I call her. I love that kid to death, man. She is awesome. All right. So now, I'm probably fixing to ruin a $5 marker because, you know, it's been more than 3 minutes since I took the cap off of it, and I have no idea where I put it. And they're clear. Every time I take the cap off one of these, I lose the damn thing. Son of a... There's one right there ruined because I lost the cap. I really like these things, man. They work really well. There's one. Good deal. Let's see how that looks. I'll be honest, I'm not completely happy with that. Let me check on the oven right quick, guys, see where it's at. It should take it a while. Yeah, it's at 1,043 degrees. Hell, we'll be heat treating here in a few minutes. That last 500 degrees when you're doing alloys really, that's what really takes up all the time, is just that last little bit. Let me wipe that off. I want a little more belly than this. This guy's an actual avid hunter and wants this knife for cleaning white-tailed deer, so I want as much belly in it as I can get. Did you forget your glasses? They're here. I promise. There's glasses here somewhere. You're probably right. I should probably have them on right now. Is that better? These are actually your dad's glasses. These aren't mine. Thought y'all had some kind of sports tonight, Jessica. There we go. Now, while that oven's heating up, I'm gonna get this cut out. I know I probably should use my handy new bandsaw, but I just need to get this cut quick, so it'll just be faster if I zip it off with the angle grinder. There's no aren't any complex curves or anything to this one. In case you guys wondering what this is, I'm remaking that knife that I gave away on Bob DeMarco, that set point. Well, I've got a couple of them to make, but one or two of them are actually, I need to get them done now, what I'm getting at. That's stupid dangerous cutting that without a vise, so I moved over here to the vise. Even though it's hanging off 3 feet. I thought I was going to have more time. Man, the oven's already up to 1200 degrees. So we're going to run out of time pretty quick before we have to start putting steel in there. Just getting the, all I'm doing here is cutting off the large excess so I don't have to waste my money on belts grinding all that away. But I can have this thing shaped out pretty fast, man. This is a pretty rudimentary design. Doesn't require much to make it happen. Put us on a brand new, well, it's not brand new, but it's a nearly new 36 grit Norton Blaze belt, and we'll get to grinding. Let's get some holes drilled in this bad boy. She'll be ready for heat treat here in just a few minutes. There's our lanyard hole. One pin hole. These next holes I'm adding are just for epoxy to pass through and weight reduction. We're almost done. What's up, Javon? Space Ghost. Looks like Cheetos here. Probably won't be live tomorrow night, guys. Barring anything going wrong, I plan to be here a good while tonight. You gotta grind that sharpening oil in before we heat treat it. It's right over here. And our oven is at 1423 degrees, so that timed out almost perfect. didn't mean to dip that in oil. I just used having water lay in there. So that'll do. Nice little clip point pro cut hunting knife right there. It's just, you know, it's just roughed in, but after I get it heat treated and do everything I need to do to it, I'll make some changes. Great thing is, there's no foil packets to worry about. I ain't gotta mess with any of that. So in case you didn't hear, we are oil quenching carbon steel tonight. So kind of like what you're used to seeing on that fake ass Forged in Fire. So I've got a bunch of Pro Cut laying around that, I'll be honest, I probably still wouldn't be heat treating the Pro Cut because I've got things to do. But I need to get Mad Yako his, I need to get him his prototype heat treated so he can get it finished up. I'm not stabbing anything with that one, Huskers. It's a buddy of mine's, big avid deer hunter. They want me to make him a clip point knife for skinning, cleaning deer. So that's what that one's for. And here, deer season's upon us. I should have already had it done. So I've got to knock that knife out, or he's going to be really upset with me. I think bow season already started, if I ain't mistaken. All right, we're at 1470, so I'm going to go ahead and put this knife in the oven because it will bring the temperature down for just a moment. All right, now we wait on it to hit 1550. Was me hit here? I didn't see a comment there, me hit, I'm sorry. It's too far up for me to find now. And I got some grinding I could do tonight. I'm really hoping my feel good stays kicked in tonight because I got a lot I need to do. I got yet another, I got a smaller Santoku I've got to get ground. So I'll go ahead and get it clamped up. So when the time comes, if I got any time to grind, I'll have that set up ready to go. But mostly, you know how it goes on heat treat nights. I've been mostly concentrated on that oven and the temperature and the time. Don't want to get too deep into anything else. Anything that might distract me from paying attention to what I'm doing. We're at 1453, so it jumped back up there pretty quick. What we're gonna do is when it hits 1550, it's got to soak for 15 minutes. The first thing I'm gonna take out is that blank bar. I'm gonna dip that in oil to get my oil temperature up. And then as soon as the knife blade, as soon as it re-hits 1550, I'll pull the knife blade and quench it. I think what I'll do is in between all this stuff I got going on tonight, I may try to do a little cleanup organization. I've I say Meathead would disagree, but I've got a damn mess. And it ain't as bad as it was, but still a mess. can't find shit. And after all these are done, we move on to some S90V for Cheeto Bandito's little bird and trout. That's the first one I've got cut out, so I'll copy this onto all the rest of them after this. Really like to have these out at least by December, but I've learned I can't promise a timeline. You know, my ability to work fluctuates, so it is what it is. Here's a whole kitchen knife right here. I gotta get handles on them. So we don't have enough time to really get into anything right this minute. We'll have to be tracking this oven here pretty quickly. It's strange, man. Like when you watch those guys do it in a forge, like in a flamed forge, you know, they get that steel up till it's red hot. You know, almost see-through red to take it out and quench it. But when you're doing it in an oven, you get a much better heat treat, but it doesn't ever get that see-through red color. Because you have a soak time at an exact temperature. That's the difference. Like Tyler could have, you know, he could have borrowed a torch and heated his blade up till it was cherry red and dipped it in oil. It would have been heat treated. No telling what the HRC would end up or how good the heat treat would be, because that's just a very primitive way of heat treating metal. The way we're doing it, it doesn't have to get near as hot, because we have a soak time for all those carbides to melt and blend and transform from austenites to martensites, all that good shit that you want to happen. Let's see Mallory's knives. I don't have handles on any of them yet, Ryan, but this is a Forest Fixie right here. Nice pronounced finger tool. About three and a half finger knife for me, but I've got big old pig knuckle hands. So those are all done. Scale material for them. I've got some of it. The rest of it will be here, I think, Tuesday. So I can start getting handles on those. It's weird how knife making seems to drag along and things take forever, and you know, you can have a knife blank that you feel like you're still a couple of weeks away from it being done. Then you go to putting the handles on it, man, and it all comes together so fast. But yeah, one will be mine. Hey. And that's exciting when you get to that point where it just starts clicking and knives just start getting done. Speaking of which, guys, I've got 2 frets available right now that have not been spoken for or paid for. I got this one in this marble blue. I haven't really got it polished up, so you can't see the marbling in it, with aluminum pins. So I got this fret available. And then I've got this purple fret available. So I got 2 frets available for purchase right now. They're not available. They're not ready to ship. I still like, with that acrylic marble look, you really have to do a lot of hand sanding to get the marble look to come through, get it to shine. So I still got some hand sanding to do on those, but those are not claimed, is my point. We're at 1540. Main thing we got to do is make sure, you know, we don't catch Meghead shop on fire. I've actually got something over there that I can put on the, just in case, I can put on the bucket and snuff out any flames we get. But at 1550, it shouldn't flame up. Kyle finally woke up. Be nice to Kyle, me, Ed. I bought these tongs for doing this very job, but they don't close up enough. You see that gap? Like if I try to grab a knife between these tongs, well look. It has to be a 1/4 inch thick for these to even grab it. Yeah, so these really don't work for me. So I don't do a whole lot of 1/4 inch thick stuff. I am planning on putting out a small bruiser and a big bruiser here before long, but I'm not gonna do a bunch of those. 1547. Let me find my timer, make sure it's still functional. Now, I used to just trust the clock on my phone, and one night I was doing this on a live stream, and for some reason, the counter reset. So that sucked. But luckily, I had wrote down the time also, so I was able to recover from it. But man, if I hadn't have been that overcautious about it, I could have fucked up that heat treat because my timer reset. When you're live, there's a little box up in the top left-hand corner that says live, and it gives you a time for how long you've been on screen. We're at 43. There's like almost 100 people in here right now, guys. In case y'all are wondering what I'm doing, first of all, my name's Shane. I'm EDGY American Blades. I got my heat treat oven on. We're heat treating some Pops Pro Cut. Some knives we're making in Pops Pro Cut. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that blank piece of steel and dip it in my oil to get my oil warmed up. Let me grab my gloves. Oh, what'd I do with my gloves? There they are. I don't know why I'm grabbing them. Them ones I had on are really useless. They got holes all in them, but I got a brand new one right here I can use. So all we're fixing to do is pull out this blank piece of steel. I'm going to dip it in that oil to bring the temperature of the oil up. I guess we did get a little flamage, that was cool. I'm going to leave that in there. Let that radiant heat warm that oil up. Get my cap gun, just see what the temperature of the oil is. Well, ain't no way that's right. It sure brought it up. It's almost a little over 200 degrees. We'll go ahead and take that out. It'll cool off in the next 15 minutes while this knife is soaking. Yeah, it's nice and warm. Heated it up better than I thought it would. OSHA loves change lives. It's just a little flame, dude. And like I said, I've got a thing over there that fits perfectly on top of that bucket. I can just sit on it and extinguish anything if I need to. Throw in his eyebrows if you had any. You're right, dude. That's one thing I've noticed as I've got older. My eyebrows, like I can count them. I don't know what happened, man. I guess they just fall out when you get old. I don't know. But I appreciate you bringing it up, Kyle. I am a little self-conscious about it. You know, my forehead's already so big, and now that I don't have eyebrows to kind of create some separation, it looks even bigger. I was hoping to find this other glove. I don't have to have it, but I know I brought the pair. I didn't just bring this one. It's my poor old mechanic's leather gloves. I've ground the big holes in both thumbs. It's a 5 head, way past 4. You're right, Ed. Well, I guess we're gonna have to stick with the mixed matching gloves because I don't see it. I'll find it after I put this one on. I know I will. You'd think they'd been laying together, but for those of you guys who have watched me, y'all know shit don't work that way around here. Not even close. Got some scales over here that warped on me a little bit. I had them in the toaster oven getting warm. I'm gonna put a press on them, see if I can get them things to flatten out. Turn that off. Anyway, what you hunting? My other glove. These gloves are, as you can see, the thumbs are gone out of them. This is just them Harbor Freight. They all right. I mean, I guess they're worth the $5 or whatever a pair they cost. But I don't know what I've done with the left hand one. I ain't got to have it though. It's mainly the right hand. I grab that steel with, it can get a little hot. All right, let's see if we're ready to start the timer. Yeah. We're gonna hit start right here. Come on. There we go. So 15 minutes we'll be pulling that out of the oven. That means we can grind for 10 minutes anyway. Ain't no white women here. Sausage fest in here, buddy. We making knives. We're trying to turn this into this. And we got knives to go in the heat treat oven, so we'll get to see some flames here in a little bit. At 8 minutes. Any of you that are new here, when you see me take it off the grinder, I'm dipping it in water over here to my left. Because this piece of steel is already heat treated, so we have to keep it cool. Alright, we're gonna measure it, get a thickness at the edge, see if we're ready to flip it over. I want to be just about 3 or 4 thousandths over half of my original blade thickness. Yep, that was perfect. We're at exactly 54 thousandths. We started out at 100 thousandths. So what I do with my Allen wrench, man, I am my worst enemy, I swear. It'd almost be worth it for me to pay somebody just to stand here beside me and keep up with where I lay shit. Because clearly I cannot. There it is. I am not good at it. That's why when I was doing mechanic work, I always had a little rolly cart. I always just turned and laid everything on that cart. But I could still lay a 10mm socket on the cart. And then 2 minutes later, spend a half an hour looking for it. It's nice to be able to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Got some heat treat going on. Getting this last kitchen knife ground. We got 5 minutes, so I'll maybe to finish this one up. These kitchen knives grind pretty fast. You just have to be very careful with them because they're so thin. Gotta act like a damn professional. There's one thing I can tell anybody planning on starting to make knives: do not skimp on belts. A good grinding belt can make grinding knives a pleasure, and a bad one can make it a nightmare. These Norton blades are the best I've tried yet. They make one called the Norton Razor. It's supposed to be even better. I haven't tried it yet, but I plan to soon. But it's significantly more expensive. The main thing I can tell you about buying a grinding belt, if it came from Harbor Freight or Amazon, it's probably fucking garbage. Do not buy your belt there. not your stock removable belts, I'll say that. I've got some from Amazon with a cubic zirconia. They actually leave a really nice belt satin, but they ain't worth a shit at removing material. We got 90 seconds before we open that oven. Definitely not going to finish this. We'll have to come right back to it. I don't know how to set this up to give y'all a good view of what's fixing to happen. I guess I'll put it over here by the oil. Alright, here we go. Pinch the shit out of it. Turn that off. Turned her jet black. All right, let me get a couple more knives in the oven. Just can't get a good hold of it for some reason. Let me try those. This knife's a little thicker. I might be able to get it with the tongs. All right, now we'll get this one over here in cryo. Man, it cools off quick. Be right back, guys. I'm sorry I'm not carrying the camera around with me, but some of this stuff's time sensitive. All right, I'm back. Now we gotta wait on the oven to get back up to 1550 before we can do the next one. Tone to tone, tone, tone. Thought I heard a car door. Got a little dizzy there for a second, man, just moving around like that. It's getting better, but they changed some of my medicine. So I'm hoping that fixes that. Anyway, I'm back. I actually got it in today. It was pretty good timing. Burger King? I ain't allowed back at Burger King, Ryan. You know that. Well, I can go to the Rainbow City location. I ain't allowed Southside one. That's all right anyway, because I'm in Southside. I'm going to go to McDonald's and see my buddy's game. I just saw him a couple days ago. As bad as I hate McDonald's, I went by there. Grabbed me some lunch just so I could see him for a minute. And I don't even know how to explain it, guys. I wish I could tell you how proud I am. Just how much better he is. Like what y'all did for him and enabling him to get the medical help he needs. It's amazing. He's still got a little bit of, he's still got a little twitch to him. But he's adapted to it. He's gotten used to it. He can speak in full sentences, and he said he don't hurt like he did. So he still has bad days, but it just makes me feel awesome that people I know, the community I'm part of, did that for James. Because if anybody deserves it, James does. I don't really know where to put that. In case y'all are wondering what I'm doing, I got to sit down for a minute. Let my dizziness go away a little. I know it's not very entertaining. I used to. I'd come to the shop, and in the midst of working, I would get chest pain. And they fixed that. But now, if I get to moving around a little too fast or a little too much, I get dizzy. The doctor said it's probably because I started back on my Ozempic at 2 milligrams instead of the starter dose of 1, and I'd been off of it for 6 months. He said the main thing was I had gotten used to walking around with my blood sugar in the 400s, and now that it's in the low hundreds, it's just going to take my body a while to adapt and get used to having normal blood sugar. But that and the fact that I lost 24 pounds in 3 weeks, you know, takes your body a little getting used to. But I ain't going to sit here all night. I'm just going to rest for a couple of minutes and get back at it. What was you asking about Burger King, Ryan? It's not my Hello Kitty shirt. It's my Big Dixon Energy shirt. $28 cheaters. 28 Cheetos later. I just saw that. That's cool, Cheeto. Before I grind that knife, though, which, you know, there's no chance of that tonight. But before I grind that, I got to use it as a template because I've had orders on those clip points, so I got to make some more of them. So I got to use that one to draw patterns on the rest of that bar of steel. I should be able to get 4 out of that bar. So we'll get back to grinding this. Let's check our temperature over here. Oh, we got an error. Anytime you open that door to take something out, the oven reads that you had a significant temp loss, and it kicks it into, it throws an error code. Which, I mean, I guess makes sense, but on the other hand, what else is that thing used for? People put stuff in it, heat it up, open the door. I don't know. Kind of back to what I was getting at, talking about James. It's hard to imagine that you can change or even possibly save somebody's life for as little as a couple $1,000. You guys did, and he'll never forget it. Almost done. Let's see if I can capture this on camera, guys. Can y'all see that? 2 thousandths. 2 freaking thousandths. Would that survive hitting bone? Probably not. This ain't a damn cleaver, so don't be hitting bone with it. Well, that thing had almost shaved right now. Cute little Santoku. I am going to start making my handles a little bit bigger. Had a couple people comment they wish the handle was a little more substantial. But I kind of looked at it like it was a finesse knife. I just didn't think you needed a big burly grip on it to push it through stuff. But I'm going to add a little more handle to them anyway. All right, we're about to start it. Yeah, we can start the countdown. We're at 1550. We'll be taking knives out in 15 minutes. Done. Needs handles. That one is available, by the way. I've got one here that's done with no handles that I'm pretty sure Elcat wanted. I need to get back with him, find out if he still wants that or not. If not, I'll put handles on it. I want to end work. I want to end work. Okay, Muhammad, whatever that means. So we got 11 minutes. Don't tell me you have not heard that beeping for the last 5 minutes. I didn't. I didn't hear it till right before I stopped it. You check the temp on my oil. I was really surprised how fast that oil temp went up. Yeah, it's perfect right now. I mean, dude, that shot up to, you could have cooked French fries in that there for a minute. But it loses heat pretty fast. I guess I'll sit down while I can. Converse with you guys. I don't really have anything to grind right this minute. I think that, well, I got a thug over here that I could grind eventually. That reminds me, I do need to be looking. I've got a set of scales I brought here and I've misplaced them. And they're rather expensive. I don't want to freak them out, but they belong to Paul Mills. I need to figure out what I've done with them so I can get his thug finished up. Like I legit don't know where they went. But at the same time, I'm not very happy with the scale material. At the same time, it just I don't know, man. Sometimes you buy it and you don't get quite what you thought you were going to get. In the picture, it was supposed to be a blue, glow-in-the-dark carbon fiber. And the only problem with it is the blue does glow in the dark, but when it's not glowing, that's not it. When it's not glowing, it's just black. And the glow in the dark part is not like, it wasn't very evenly distributed. So like parts of it would glow and parts of it wouldn't. I just put those. Oh yeah, I want to see that, Terry. But I've got, Paul Mills has got a thug. A little different than everybody else's. His is right here. This one's an S125V. And it's also thinner stock. That should be a super spicy sumbitch. But I wish I could afford to make them all that way, but and that material was not cheap. I may have to order him another set of scales because I don't see them. But I'm not sure I brought them here, so they still could be at home. That is definitely a possibility. I still got a whole nother bar of Pro Cut. I don't even know what I'm going to make out of it yet. I'd considered doing some budget thugs or frets or something. But man, the cost of the steel, if you try to sell it at a cheaper price, it's only going to be like $20 cheaper. Everything else is the same. So Is it worth it? I mean, I just don't know. I guess I'm gonna have to make one and figure out, you know, exactly what I got in it. But I do got these scales right here. This is going on one of the thugs going to Alaska. This red shred carbon fiber. You guys have seen it before. I put it on some kitchen knives. So I got some in for the Northern Knives order. So I'm trying to do like pairs, you know, do 2 of each different handle material. Be 5 different handles. I'm not stuck to that, but when I talked to him, he was excited about mixing them up instead of having just 10 identical knives. And to be honest, that excited me too. I really wasn't all that excited about doing 10 knives that were all identical. But I can cut all the excess off this one while we're waiting. Then all little needs pins. It's something to do. So we're utilizing our time. In case you're wondering, when I put scales on one, that's what it looks like. It's just a big block. Now I do put pins through these to make sure the holes line up and everything. I'll epoxy them up, clamp them down. Now I got to grind all this excess off. Turn my fan on. Hey, I found my other glove. It's on the man lift. Jessica probably knew right where it was at. He just didn't want to tell me. pan in a second, guys. I'm sure the audio from these live streams is horrible. I have to listen to all that shit running. That worked out pretty good. We got 1 minute before we take our first knife out. Just like that. This is all shaped up. There's the pins in it. Before I leave tonight, I'll glue some liners to some scale material. Have those ready to go on. Get everything ready to take these out. I say these, you only do one at a time. See how close we are. So all that did was very quickly sucked all the heat out of that steel. All those carbides that were in motion and molding together, it just froze them in time. So like right now, this knife is very brittle. So we'll put it in cryo, leave it overnight to remove some of that brittleness out of it. And then from there, we will temper it. I'll be right back. Let's see how close we are. We're already back up to 1526, so yeah, we'll be able to pull another one out in just a couple of minutes. Well, probably more like 4 or 5 minutes. That look pretty cool on camera when they come out on fire like that. I mean, I see it in real life, but I don't see exactly what y'all are seeing. So I don't know how good an angle I've got. His phone is gonna ding. Oh, did you send me pictures, Terry? Well, hey there, Natalie. I'm not gonna butcher your name, I'm sorry. When we get those out, we've got even more to go in. I just wanted to make sure I was really comfortable with the process before I did somebody else's. So I'm about to put Mad Yoko's knife in. Like I said, with carbon steels, you can't do them with a blowtorch, some charcoal, or a hair dryer, some charcoal, and a little homemade forge. But it's already an inferior steel to what other steels you can buy. So it makes no sense not to get as good a heat treat on it as you possibly get. I'll say this, without ever even have doing it, from what I've learned from Alex Steingraber and Brian Kim, Mad Yoko's 1095 knife will be better than, it'll be better than any tops you've ever tried. So I can say that without even having experienced it. Just because of the process. That 1, 2, 3 knives at a time in a small oven like that, you just get a way better heat treat. We ready for the next one already? Move along pretty quickly. The reason you want to move it around in there like that is that's so hot that it'll cause that oil to cavitate. It'll build like a little vapor barrier around the blade, which will cause it to not lose temp as fast, which will mess up your heat treat. That's why you want to constantly be moving it in that oil. So you don't have a chance for that vapor barrier to stop the oil from sucking the heat out. But y'all seen how long that took. I dipped it, let it lay there for maybe a minute, took it out and had it in my hand. I mean, I had a leather glove on, but that thing was 1550 degrees. Just literally a half a minute ago. So it pulls it out really fast. I just wonder who figured this out. Back in time, some blacksmith somewhere, I don't know, I can't even wrap my head around how they discovered how to make steel better. But, an army of knights or an army of farmers, to be honest, with better steel, would have been much more formidable than knights in shiny armor with stuff with a shit heat treat. Crazy to think about it that way, but it's the truth. Literally, they could just chop through their opponent's weaponry. Right through it. me check this oil tank. Just curious to see where it's at. Oh yeah, it's perfect. It heats up quick, but it cools back off pretty fast. And this tug feels good. I like the tug slim. I've had a couple of people tell me my handles, they wish my handles were a little beefier. I do some beefier handles on a knife that needs beefier handles, but you know, that knife, you know, my vision for it, you know, it's a small pocket fixed blade that you're going to do fairly precise stuff with. I just like a thinner handle, you know. That's just me. Gun's gonna be pretty. Fortunately, it's not taking long between knives. Once you get all three of them up to 1550, it just takes a couple of minutes between quenches. You can pull them out. We're going to temper these tomorrow at about 350, which should put us around 65 HRC. You can get it as high as 67. You know, they may come out to 66. 67 sounds great, but man, I just don't know if it needs to be that high. I like thinner handles as well. One reason I don't buy custom fixes is they make the handles so thick. Yeah, I agree, man. I've held some, and I think some of them feel good, but when they get too thick, it's almost like they get too round too. They get to where they'll roll in my hand because my hand can't collapse in on those flats. I just can't get a good control of it. But you know, just initially picking it up and grabbing it, yeah, man, that does feel good. But when I'm using it, I like a thin chamfered edge flat scale. That's just me. Everybody has an opinion. Let's go check this temperature. I don't have anything more rivetingly entertaining for you guys on a Saturday. It's ready already. To watch the fireworks again. Whoa. Get on there now. Probably ruined that one. Now I'm going to temper it. I'm going to set this one aside and check the HRC just to see what the difference is. I knew that was going to happen eventually. I'd much rather it be a piece of Pro Cut than a piece of S125 though, that's for sure. Kind of surprised it didn't shatter. It actually landed on a piece of wood. That's probably what that may have saved it. Let me get these in here, getting hot. I'll move that one over to Crow. I'm gonna put it in a different spot so that I can, to make sure I can identify that one. May not have bothered it at all. I got it up pretty quick. But I want to know. It didn't work. That's a good sign. All right, I'm back. I think that's the, no, there's one more right there needs to go in. That'll be the last of the carbon steels. All right. I put that one off on the side by itself. I want to, when I take them, have the HRC tested, I want to see if it's any different. I mean, it was literally 10 seconds, so it may not, but if it is, if anything, it may be a little lower hardness. If it is, I'll just keep it for myself. I attach these scales with grommets instead of Chicago. Hey man, if it works, it works. Everybody's got a different way. What's up, Bugsy? Whew. I didn't really think I'd have this much done in 2 hours, so I may, when I get these heat treated, I may call it a night. There's really not much else I can do till those are in cryo overnight, and I can get them tempered, then get them ground. I don't have to grind Yacos, I just got to send it back to him. I got you. I didn't realize when people use those Chicago screws, like when I talk to makers at Blade Show, they're like, yeah, you're supposed to use the screws to bolt them together and then grind the head off. I was like, yeah, but then you can't take them back apart. And it was like, you don't need to take them back apart. Okay. That's what you said, you know. Like I said, everybody's got a different idea. Yep. Got a pretty good bit done tonight, though. Like I said, accomplished a little more than I thought I would. We got to wait on that to get back up to 1550. Let me check my, looking for some scale material over here. I still got a little ways to go. I guess I could go ahead and attach these liners to these scales, get them glued up, let them be curing for tomorrow. That could be something resourceful. Since I have a few sets to do. All right, that's what we're going to do next. We'll mix up some epoxy. Get some scales ready for tomorrow. Check that temperature again, see how close we get. We're at 1430. So it should be up there within the next 5 minutes. Watched some videos on some guys doing segmented scales, and they were gluing their liners on with super glue or CA glue. I guess that's what the pros call it. And I tried it, and I didn't have much luck with it. Like, it would bond really good in spots and not in others. I just don't know that I trust it, man. Now, I've been using this 2-part epoxy for attaching scales and liners. So far, it's been pretty good to me. I think I'm just going to stick with it. It does take longer. You know, they're not dry in 5 minutes like the super glue version is, but it's one of them things, man. I just ain't feeling it. Don't feel like it's as good. Or I don't have the process down right, one of the two. That very well could be it. Because these were some pretty famous veteran makers I watched. I'm not doubting them. I'm just doubting whether I did it right. Kyle, we haven't caught anything on fire yet. I did drop a knife out of the oven. Luckily, it landed on a piece of wood. It didn't warp. I probably had it in quench within 10 seconds. But I'm setting it aside so that I can remember which one it is. because I want to see what the HRC difference, if at all. I know with Pro Cut, the heat treat's supposed to be very forgiving, so maybe I didn't mess it up, but like I said, I told them even if I did mess it up, I have no issues keeping that knife for myself. Because the Heathen's my favorite model anyway. It's definitely not my best seller, and that's okay. So right now I'm just gluing liners to scales so that I can attach them tomorrow. That's all tonight was about, or at least all it's supposed to be about. So any extra work I get done, just a bonus. I'll take bonus work. Let's go see what our temperature's up to. 1541. That was pretty good timing. I made good use of that time. Let me go get these flattened. And now these. One thing I've learned for sure, when you're using any type of industrial epoxy product, if it says 15-minute epoxy, that means that you only have to clamp it together for 15 minutes. That's what they're telling you. But the truth of the matter is, double everything that you read. If it says it needs to be clamped together for 15 minutes, it probably needs to be clamped together for 30 minutes, maybe even an hour. And then when it says workable time, if it says 12 hours, double or triple that. In other words, don't drill it, don't grind it, any of that yeah, I'm just gonna say it, for at least triple whatever time it tells you. Because the only times I've ever had issues is when I didn't extend those times. Like always give it more time than what it says. All right, we're there, y'all. Countdown begins. We'll get these last 3 knives we got in the oven heat treated, quenched. Then we can move on. I don't think you guys have seen this yet. This is a scale material I just got in. I don't know if I've ever even shown it. Keep in mind, This is just a rough glue up, so I did these with a royal blue liner. So that is something I can be doing. I can go get these holes drilled. Get this one shaped up a little bit. I was really wanting to hurry and get these knives off to Alaska so they could be there when Stevie gets there. But there's one thing I've learned about myself. I don't need to hurry. Over here and fall off the big chunks. I'm actually saving these chunks or something. I'm gonna do some scales. I'm gonna cast these chunks into resin. Just kind of throw them all in there. Well, you know, I'm gonna try to at least make them look like the colors go together. But I have a plan for them anyway. The great thing about resin is the cost is low enough where you can experiment and throw this shit away if it didn't work. Because very often it doesn't work. It doesn't turn out like what you hoped it would. Like these pieces, along with other pieces, you know, they'll just be, I'll cut them up into weird shapes or whatever. They'll all be cast into resin to make a whole new block. We'll see how it looks. If it looks like shit, we'll throw it away. So, what we're left with is this. Of course, the pins will be cobalt blue as well. Something a little different. It's not a color I've used before. Just trying to keep some variety in there, man. Where's the drill press vise? It's at my house on top of my refrigerator. The time is the open time, meaning how long you have to move the parts before it starts to bond. Yeah, whatever. I just know if it has like a working time and then like a, completely cured time, triple that shit. It's just a safety blanket for you to know that it bonded and it cured. It's always going to work out better if you give it more time. Every time I've ever had epoxies or adhesive fail on me, it's because I didn't give it a lot of extra time to set up before I moved on and tried to drill it or something like that. And I've never rushed it. I've just, I used the amount of time it said to, and it's just not enough. Never enough. It's kind of like a woman, never enough. So we got 6 minutes before we start taking knives out of the oven again. I'm gonna do that and get me a drink of water. Once I get those out, I'm gonna put them over here in the deep freeze and leave them overnight. And then temper them tomorrow, and then I can get to grinding those. But I'm only gonna grind while I'm, doing scale work and waiting on stuff to cure. No, Kyle, it's a shit place for it. It serves absolutely no purpose on top of my refrigerator. I have no need for a drill press vise on top of my refrigerator. Sticks out like a sore thumb. Ain't doing shit. But in all honesty, I'm probably going to leave it there and just buy another one, because I'm going to clean off my desk at home and take all this epoxy stuff back to the house and start doing epoxy work there, or at least my mixing and all that. It's a giveaway over. You just missed it, Zach. You just missed it. That's a good point, Terry. If I put a drill press on top of the refrigerator, then all y'all can eat crow, because that means that vise was in the right spot all along. Thank you very much, Zach. I know you would probably rather do gifted memberships. I haven't turned memberships back on. There are guys in this community, like Zach and Javon and Big Red and lots of channels that I thoroughly feel like not only deserve memberships, but you guys paid for cable for decades for a bunch of shit you didn't watch. I just feel like it's almost borderline disrespectful to watch somebody's content constantly and not be willing to pay $5 a month for it. Now, that's just my opinion. But I don't turn mine back on because, unlike some of these other channels, I don't feel like I offer enough. Like, I don't have, member-only's lives. I don't post on a very consistent basis. A lot of times I don't even go live on Sunday. I'm probably not going to tomorrow night. I'm going to get in a bunch of work tonight. I'm probably going to come back and work some tomorrow, so I may not be live tomorrow night, but I appreciate that. That's weird. I catch myself buying gifted memberships for channels that I'm not even a member of sometimes, just because I've forgotten and let it lapse or whatever. But it's I'm gonna grind this just see what it looks like. This was just some what do you want to call it? This was some, let's see what it looks like type shit. I really just wanted to see how this would bond. This is kind of an experiment because this is actually epoxy resin poured on top of urethane resin. So as you can see, they did not bend or blend. They did bond, but not you know, not in a consistent layer. But again, I wasn't planning on using this. I absolutely love this color though, man. It's No Con Blue from Eye Candy. It's by far the prettiest blue mica powder you can put into epoxy. But this white, I didn't add anything to it. This is a quick set urethane resin that turns white when it hardens. So I'll cut this up in little pieces and throw it in that experimental casting I'm gonna do. BS, you're not going live tomorrow. Mayhead said he might need my help tomorrow, so I'm probably not going live tomorrow. That's why I wanted to do it tonight. But yeah, Mayhead, just let me know, man. You know it may require you calling me a few times before I get to answer the phone. But I wouldn't mind at least just spending an hour coming in and cleaning up on some of this stuff and not trying to get anything else done. Yeah, I thought about what you said about, you know, I wouldn't have an issue at all with paying Jessica to clean up some, but at the same time, I kind of need to know where all of it's going. I quit. The sound sucks. It does suck, dude. The fact that people still show up for it blows my mind. But, guys, we're ready to pull knives out of the heat treat oven. We got 30 seconds, so that was pretty good timing. So if you want to see some flames, now's the time to be here. The flames are really unnecessary. It only flames up when I pull it all the way out. All you got to do is move it back and forth. But I figured it'd give y'all something cool to look at. So here we go. Let's get the first one out. That was a little different. These come out with a little puffy layer of scale on them that I didn't see before. Same steel, same process. I don't know what caused that. I mean, it just flaked right off. It's clearly not a big deal. Let that sit for a minute. We'll get it over into the freezer. I'm not using liquid nitrogen on these because I knew I would need them to sit overnight. It's cool how it turns that steel just black as soot. I may order me another set of tongs, see if they got a 1/8 set, because each quarter just aren't. Like on these knives, it's fine, but on some of those thinner ones, they don't work so great. Gotta remember to throw this t-shirt away, dude. T-shirt soaked in oil like this is definitely a fire hazard laying around the shop. We're back up to temp already. We pull another one. I'm try it with these. See how much control I have. All right, 2 more in there. Put the t-shirt in the sawdust pile and soak up the oil. These things wearing a shirt with a big dicks on it. Yeah, big dicks in energy. McNeese knives, right here in Alabama. Got one big knife in here. It's probably not going to fit all the way in, but that's fine. All I want in it is primarily is the handle anyway. I mean the blade. I don't care if the handle gets. That's Tyler's knife. It's thinner. I better use these. will say one thing about oil quenching. This is easier. It's much less stressful. So, and once you've bought the oil, which is fucking outrageously high, it's cheaper. But at least you can reuse it, unlike those full packets. This shit, it can't be reused. It's just garbage after you use it. Over $100 a roll. And a roll don't do near as much as you think. There's a lot of waste because of all the folding you have to do. Now, there's a whole nother chef's knife I didn't know I had. Already ground. Looks great. Probably another reason why a little cleanup day wouldn't hurt. No telling what I might find. Well, you can definitely tell this is a different steel. Same heat treat protocol. But man, this got a bunch of decarb on it. This 1095 did. I'll clean that up for him before I send it back to him. One thing I was concerned about that I haven't seen any of yet. Just eyeballing it, I've not noticed any warpage yet, so maybe it'll stay that way. Shut that bad boy off. He's done for the night. Well, that handle, because it's not submerged, the temperature's not dropping near as fast. But that's okay, because it'll actually just make the handle a little tougher. Now, in a good quality steel, that wouldn't be the case, but in this is 8670. So, won't hurt at all for the handle to not be as hard. This knife, when ordered, he actually expressed that he didn't want high HRC. So I'll temper that one at 400 because he wants it lower. He wants that good and tough. He's actually going to use this for hog hunting. So you don't want it breaking when he stabs through a hog's rib cage. Pretty proud of myself. I got way more accomplished than I thought I would. We talking about the price of steels, Kyle, I'm assuming? Because I would probably agree with you. I just think this, even if you like the idea of carbon steel, well, then there's no reason to buy anything other than Pro Cut. If it outperforms all the other carbon steels, even if it's a little more expensive, which there's no such thing because that stuff's cheap anyway. Then just buy Pro Cut. Because it runs you, but sadly, it runs you about the same price that Nitro V does. The Pro Cut right now is getting better edge retention than Nitro V, but it's not getting better edge retention than the Nitro X7 that's about to come out. So, my opinion, once Nitro X7 comes out, there's really no reason to use any other, air quotes, budget steel. There's just not. Because it's supposed to be comparably priced to Nitro V. It's pretty cheap, considering. And it outperforms every carbon steel in the world in every category. So there's just no reason to use carbon steels unless you just want something in carbon steel. Then if you do, use Pro Cut. Nothing else makes sense anymore. And you know, if you want to make your first knife, you've got an old file that you know is not case hardened, it's through hardened. It's probably 1075, 1054. Hey man, I made my first knife out of that. That's absolutely what you should do. But if you have access to somebody that will heat treat it for you, like myself, just no reason not to. No reason at all. And you can get on Alpha Knife Supply and buy small sticks of ABL. The steel's less than the shipping. I mean, you can buy like a 12-inch stick for like $11. Now, your cost is going to come in where you ship it to me, then I got to ship it back. That's going to cost you a few bucks. You know, and I might have to charge you $10 just for the foil that I use. But even still, man, it's just, when you're done with it, I would hate to set out to make a knife and make something really beautiful, something I'm really proud of. And at the same time know that my steel choice is not great, that it's not in a very good steel, blah, blah, blah. But, yeah, my recommendation to anybody, if you're getting started, you want to make your first few knives, either Pro Cut or Nitro V to begin with. That's a big ass pig sticker right there. I'm gonna go get this put in the freezer. I'll be right back. All right. Sadly, embarrassingly, guys, I'm exhausted. Apparently about 3 hours is all I got in me. But like I said, I got a bunch done tonight. I actually relieved a lot of stress just because, like that big buoy pig sticker, man, that thing's been looming over me for 8-9 months. So I got that knocked out. Now I can do the parts I enjoy, get that knife finished up. get him his knife. So I'm gonna call it, guys. I appreciate y'all hanging out. I love every one of y'all. Luke, that's for you, buddy. And I'll see y'all later.